Robertson, good morning, everybody. God, that so takes me back to primary school, Thomas Jones, 1976. How are we all this morning, everyone? Hi, Leo. Leo. As in
Leo, we haven't
Dior.
seen you for ages.
Leo, just need to say something. Nanny Di wants to see some of your art, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'll contact you elsewhere.
We
Morning.
show it to everybody.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you, Leo.
But she wants to see your art.
We're so proud of you. Honestly, you're fantastic, Leo.
Yeah,
You
you really
are. And it's been so exciting for us watching you grow and mature as an artist. And yeah, and you're such a lovely, lovely person too. So, you know, just a moment to Leo. Yeah.
Ashley, morning. Ashley, how's Dad?
Oh, Ashley.
How's Dad? I haven't seen. I mean, I saw that things were kind of moving in the right direction.
How you doing,
I hope
honey?
they're continuing to. So, Faith Goodman, if you're not here, but if you do come here later, hope you're feeling good and better. And lots of love to everyone else. Morning, Julie Hilton, May Edmondson, Nikki Burton, So Unique, Shivy, Sean Tucker, Sharon JL, Jenny Scam, Sarah Fox, May Edmondson, Megan Peralta Hearson. That's a great name, not read that one out before. Anne-Marie Locher.
Joyce Pritchard, LN, Sean Tucker, Margaret O'Brien, Ruthie Tootie, Fifi Cromack, Lee Durrant, Ellery Jones, Chloe Hooper, Hilary Cannon, Christine. It's gone too fast.
I think we did quite well there. I think you did quite well. A fun...
Nice members live
lots
yesterday.
Lots of people enjoyed your members live last
night.
With
Dina, though I have to say, I'm always very nervous when she's live.
She's a loose cannon.
Because you never know what she's going to say.
She's one of those... Do you remember when Chris Evans used to do TFI Friday, which I know you were once on? TFI Friday, that Friday night show, which was kind of live, where you'd have ding, 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 and guests would walk on, and I thought it was a great show. But do you remember Sean Ryder came on and was so rude, they had to put it on a 15-minute delay. So when you saw the show, it already wasn't live, but it was shot as live with a 15-minute delay. Yeah. Dina's like that. You need a slight delay on it.
And it was so funny yesterday. She couldn't get over it because obviously we know and are used to how well you know us all. But I just said on the members live, so what is Dina's terrible habit? And she couldn't believe it straight away. Farting, trumping, bubble bathing, just one, like instantly. And she was just like, she was laughing her head off. And then also I asked a question. She said, oh, that's too difficult. I said, you have no idea. We have literally never asked a question, whether in the members area or here, that hasn't been answered. There's always somebody, usually many, but there's always somebody that knows the answer.
Quite something.
And it just blows our mind. And the thing is now, you know more about us than we do. It's just
We were
incredible.
talking to someone the other day in real life, and they said, no, that's not true. They did it. And we're like, oh yeah, how do you know that? Saw it on the channel.
Laura Lou, I love you for this little message. I love you for this. I just did a 5-minute HIIT exercise waiting for coffee moaning. Felt awful this morning. Now feel fab. I love this. This is what I say to our girls all the time. Feeling bad, anxiety, whatever. Jump up, do something. We say it to you guys all the time. Even 2 minutes. So that's what I want you to stay till the end of today, because we're going to elucidate further on Lucy.
I just want to share, Laura Lou, you've got a typo there that says or, as in in awe of something, full. So you felt awful, and then at the end you were full of awe. Awful. It's like we're all a big family, says So Unique. I see that...
and we love that.
Yeah, we do absolutely love that.
Nikki says you running on Instagram is funny.
Have you seen it?
It's funny.
It is funny, isn't it? It's that thing of you think you're one thing, and then you know actually as you come running towards someone, you're just a sack of shit, basically. Really, what is a body? It's like a haggis, but with really fluid, floppy stuff as you get older. Isn't it? It really is.
Somebody there just saying they're starting their ADHD medication today. Good luck with it.
Good luck.
But one thing I would say, be prepared for being incredibly thirsty.
And also...
have one of these and drink, because if you don't drink through the day, sip through the day, I think that, well, no, definitely it can give you a headache. But as long as you keep really hydrated, that's my big tip.
I would also sort of reiterate the fact that don't be surprised or shocked if on your ADHD pills of an evening you feel quite tired. That's fine because
Yeah, that's supposed to be normal because
That's
that's how
quite
people
normal.
without ADHD feel.
yeah. But I mean, because it gives you sort of more sort of streamlined focus, so that you're not being absolutely. That it's almost like it kind of tires you out in a weird way. So,
For any of you that saw the ADHD film that I did on loose women, the lovely Rebecca, who assessed me, agreed yesterday that she'll do a live on YouTube here with questions and answers.
Fantastic.
Well, she's just got to double check with her boss, but she wants to do it, but it's whether her boss says it's okay or not. So keep your eyes peeled because that will be amazing. She's so lovely, she's so kind, and she just knows so much about ADHD. Her answers are just so user-friendly and she's just
That's
great.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right, we better get on because we've got so much to do today,
yeah.
haven't we? And I really want to squeeze in Joy.
Squeeze in what? Who's
Oh,
Joy?
because we keep saying about Joy and then we
I
haven't done
thought
it
it was
week.
someone you were talking about. What would you recommend to see at the cinema this week? Our review is going up tonight. I would fully recommend The Whale. We saw it in a preview. I would fully recommend The Whale. Obviously starring Brendan Fraser, about a morbidly obese father estranged from his daughter. As I say, our review's later. It says spoiler. It's very light spoilers, not really any spoilers there, so it's not going to wreck it for you. It's a play as well. So, oh look, we've got a new member. Let me make a note of your name, Samantha Stern. Are you Stern, Samantha Stern?
I bet she's never heard that before.
Do you think?
God.
I think people live up to their names, don't you? If their surname is a description, I think people live up to their names. Anyway, okay.
She's not stoned.
I'm not saying
you
you are
might be.
at all. I'm
you
not saying
might
you are.
be.
But it's like Mark Strong, the actor. I bet he's quite strong. Okay. It's a cheery topic, the first one, but we were going to talk about it yesterday. But I think this is more like a.
It's not a cheery topic.
No, but it's something that if we were around the water cooler, we'd all be going, "Oh God, did you see that? And how much of this do you eat? And how much?"
Because the thing is, this story has been going now for days and days and days.
So, cancer warning as experts reveal new list of foods that increase risk. And this is what I want to unpack from this. There's nothing on this list I didn't already know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. But new research about household staples that should come with more higher risk. So the categories of food that we need to think about, I don't mean worry about, which are ultra-processed foods, include breakfast cereals, mass-produced bread, ready meals, ice cream, ham, and the one that's an absolute disaster for me, crisps. They're amongst the foodstuffs that
Our
a
kids have
recent
eaten too many
study,
crisps.
the Cancer Research
I'm
UK and World Cancer Research Fund suggest they have a link to higher risks of various types of cancer. It's to do with
Years
UPF.
ago-
They're called UPFs, ultra-processed foods.
Years ago, when I did my hospital show, an esophagus cancer specialist said to me that this was so shocking. I've never been able to eat wafer-thin ham since. He said he would not touch wafer-thin ham.
It's funny, ever
Because of
since
the
you've
esophagus
said,
cancer.
yes, ever since
Are
you
you the
said that,
same?
I look at it and I go, I'm still
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
I look at it
Funny,
and go,
isn't it?
it's weird.
And so ham and crisps. So like how many packed lunches across the country have ham sandwiches in white bread with crisps? So it is something to really think about. And you know, you go to France, to Italy, children aren't going to school with that as their lunch. And so, you know, we do have to keep addressing it in this
But are
country.
you talking about, you know, the packets that are a bit deep that you get with lots of really fine
That's
wafer?
what he said to
What
me.
about the thicker wafer?
I was interviewing him live on telly, and I said to him over and over again,
What single thing would you?
wafer thin,
What keeps you up at night? But not the slightly thick. If you got it in a sort of delicatessen where they're kind of
I
cutting it.
suppose
Wonder what
it's
causes
just
it.
anything highly processed. The thing is,
Right.
I don't really buy ham anymore. Mark likes it because when you go to the ham that is actually okay, which is proper ham, carved ham, it's
got jelly in it.
so fucking expensive.
And it's got jelly in it.
And it's got jelly in it. But it's like, you know, I was looking at it the other day. 3 slices was £5 of proper ham.
My God.
So the thing is, people buy the wafer-thin ham, as we did for years. As soon as I did that interview, we never bought it again. I was feeding it to the kids all the time. You know, as soon as so occasionally, if we're having a birthday party or something, we'll have ham sandwiches.
But can I
We
just
love
say,
them.
well,
but if you're using it every single day in your packed lunch, don't.
Okay, as a child, my entire diet with my nan was ham sandwiches in white processed
Most
bread
of
with
us.
a packet of crisps and a supermarket cake.
Most of us.
Oh my, yeah, but hang on. That's what my nan thought. She was helping me. The study is pretty comprehensive. They examined the diets of nearly 200,000 people aged between 40 and 70, tracking their health across 10 years for risk of developing cancer or not. The study found that the higher consumption of this food was associated with the greater risk of developing cancer. The researchers found
particularly ovarian and brain.
yeah, for every 10% increase in ultra-processed food, there was a 2% increase in cancer overall, and a nearly 20% increase in risk for ovarian cancer specifically.
So basically, it's really, really simple.
Don't eat
You
crisps
don't
or
have
ham.
to just go, oh my God, I can never have crisps, I'll never ham. Your diet, the way that you eat, 80% of the way that you eat must, if you can, do your best to not buy processed food. The other thing about that is you're helping the planet. It's cheaper to eat non-processed food. The most expensive way to eat is to buy like highly processed food all packaged. My sister, who's always on a really tight budget, Dina's on a very tight budget, she eats so cheaply, but every single thing she eats is unprocessed. So, again, watch her on Curly Cooks, watch how she cooks. It is an affordable, really affordable and very healthy, because Dina, she was saying yesterday on the live, she never watches dramas, she watches health films and she's obsessed. And, it's an investment for your future, isn't it?
The study has also led to a recommendation. The recommendation is that there needs to be some kind of incentive for people to buy healthier food. So some kind of subsidy needs to be encouraged for healthier options. So, yeah, it's all well and good saying it's bad for you. Yeah, God only knows how bad Nutella is for me, actually. It's all well. I do get frustrated with these stories because the marketplace sort of basically makes the worst food the most affordable, and that seems to never ever get spun around.
People do believe that healthy food is expensive. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just about learning how to make it cheaply and easily. It's a bag of lentils. I mean, I know I keep banging on about it, but Dina's lentil bolognese was off the scale. It's the nicest bolognese I've ever had. And that's way cheaper than meat. And the other thing is...
Yeah, Jenny, it is about the quantity as much as
Tim Spector the other day, Professor Tim Spector, when I was talking to him, he said, don't people think of calories. Don't think of calories. He said it's a con by the companies that are selling us all this processed food. Think chemicals, not calories. So look after your gut, really look after your gut, and you're going to feel so much more healthy and more vitalised and more energised. Mm-hmm. He's coming round to me bit by bit.
Yeah, except I do like a packet of chicken-flavoured crisps. I mean, my nan
So do I, and I
introduced me
love
to
a chicken-flavoured
chicken-flavoured
crisp, just
crisps.
not having them
Do you want to
every
talk
day.
over it a bit more?
But it's just not every day, sweetie.
My nan introduced me to chicken-flavoured crisps and Nutella, and I haven't shaken the two addictions yet.
But you know what I would say? You're really good because you don't have them every day. It's not about never having this stuff. It's about it not making more than 20% of your diet.
No, I agree.
You're getting there.
Thank you.
It's taken me 20 fucking years, but I'm getting in there.
I just want to...
Just got to work on the diet.
I just want to pass via this really tragic story, or potentially tragic story, regarding Nicola Bully, who has been missing now for 5 days.
Oh, God, this is so...
It's just so worrying. By all accounts, she was on a conference call. Her phone was still on a conference call when they found it or her. Is that right?
Yeah, so she was walking her dog, this beautiful, picturesque, I've forgotten where it is
by
now.
a river or...
And they found, so somebody found the dog, didn't they?
The dog was
running off
blessed,
on her
it was
own.
just running around.
And then the police found the phone mid-conference call.
Now, the weirdest part of all of it, apparently there's a derelict building opposite where she was sat, and I think the police went there and they found the owner, who kind of let them look around. They're not necessarily saying they think she was attacked or anything.
I suppose they just don't know.
Maybe they know more from the phone call than they can share with the public. But 5 days is a worry, and obviously if you look into the story, there's her husband or the father of her children telling her children, and the children wanting her back. It's just another, I
mean, we just don't know at this point, do we? She could be depressed, it could have been abduction, we just don't know. And it's just like, if we, just the way we all feel about it, just reading it, just my heart goes out to those that know her.
There's always it's those details
they
as well
manage?
that make you say, "There, but for the grace of God, go I or we." When her father says, his last words were, "I love you" on the doorstep as she headed off to, wherever she was going. It's just so. Anyway, I mean that's tragically sad. So obviously that
Always
that
just
story
try and
is-
say that you love the person that go. I mean, when I think back to when we were in our most chaotic part of our marriage, and I used to scream and shout at you, you'd scream and shout at me, I'd slam the door, tell you to go yourself. We used to do that all the time. We don't do it now because we've been to marriage guidance counselling, but it's just a reminder, isn't it? Just try not to leave without telling people that you love them.
Exactly. So, so that's a really sad story. This story, who knows what Sims is? The game Sims. Has anyone here? It's quite a sort of. I remember playing Sims
huge,
with the kids.
wasn't it? Was it in the 90s?
It was
when you played with the kids.
I played with the girls. Yeah, it was quite an early game.
And people were saying at the time that it was a really good way because people managed to learn to manage how their
Exactly. It was a kind of. It was one of the first Avatar type things where you would, keep someone alive. They would live their lives. They
like
would
the
go to school.
Gamaguchis.
Lee Durrant. Yeah, my childhood. My nephew played it. Jenny Cox. Yeah. I'm intrigued with the picture on the wall by you. Which picture? Someone's intrigued by the picture on the wall. This one over here. Or that one. Anyway. Yeah, I found it really addictive. Anyway, so Sims 4, it keeps being updated, and I think we're at the iteration where it's Sims 4, has hit a backlash because it's added an option for child characters to have top surgery scars and chest binders. So it's come under fire because it's allowing child characters to adopt top surgery scars resulting from breast removal. It describes itself as the ultimate life simulation, but the latest update comes just months after the game faced a backlash for adding they/them pronouns into the game. So this is their move towards inclusivity, but the changes have been met with a backlash, with one user who identifies as transsexual intermediate man with female biology slamming the update. Why? This is actually making a joke of those of us who have dysphoria and do transition, the tweet said. This is not inclusive kid play. Why are you encouraging this? The only kids who need to know about people like me are my relatives. This is curious because I'd have thought they would have been
Well, that's just one person. The thing
Yeah.
is, you're never gonna satisfy all the people all the time, are you? So there are going to be there's going to be polar opposites in this debate, isn't there? I don't know. I mean, my opinion is, I would imagine that if people need to see themselves, don't they? We need to see us to know us, kind of thing. So we need a reflection. Most people need a reflection of themselves, and we're learning so much more about that over the last couple of years. There's so much more awakeness. Thank you, Leo. We always nod to you for that. There's so much more awakeness to that. So I'm now, in the past where I would have been quick to judge things and quick to make statements, I now think, well, if I am in that position, if I am somebody going through this, would it help me seeing me everywhere, in all situations? And I suppose the answer would be yes. But I think, again, people want us to get angry about stuff when there's other things we need to be getting angry about.
Well, like my little peony says, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you can't
Look at what we had last week with the M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly. If you include, you're shot down. If you don't include, you're also shot down. So I think going for inclusivity is wise and is right. And it's an option that not all kids have to choose. I mean,
and the inclusivity doesn't have to mean that there is then exclusion.
Oh, look here, May Edmondson. I'm happy because the game was so heteronormative and there was no option for, say, a gay couple to have a child, let alone if you wanted to make a trans
isn't
character.
That's just wrong.
So I think it's a good
And what's their ethnic diversity like as well? Because
that's good.
We've had lots of conversations recently on Loose Women. Sinetra's been amazing on it, and Judy. I mean, Sinetra was saying, because Sinetra is Indian, she said she never even thought about why she wasn't represented, and she said it's so fascinating unraveling this for her now. And when she sees dolls, and she goes back to what it would have felt like as a small child having a doll, an Indian doll. So we are learning more and more about what all people need from all people.
And I think it's all about reflexivity. Is it being reflected in all platforms? I think that's absolutely fine. And I just think there's a bit of kind of getting used to it by everyone. The press forever want to say that this kind of inclusivity is woke gone mad. But as you rightly say, you know, I think woke has become a weaponized word, whereas actually it comes from, going back to your thing often about intentions, the intentions of woke actually can't be disputed, you know, wokeness,
I mean,
whatever you want to
years
call it.
and years ago, I was sort of advised very kindly by a producer to not bring up my Arab side of my life so often. And I remember saying, oh God, I'm so sorry. And actually being told it could put people off you. And I was like, in those days, I apologised for that. And
Wow.
the thought now that you just couldn't say that to me is great. But I don't have rage about that because I understand that people have, you know, awoken. I still think there's an awful lot of prejudice to Arabs that is still accepted in a way that it isn't in other arenas. But yeah, do you remember years ago me telling you that?
Yeah, do you want to name them?
No.
I do, but I won't. Christos Andrew, we need to accept that the meta era, you're right, so meta era is the virtual area or arena that everyone's getting excited about, is upon us. And either way, these topics, subjects, and changes will be reflected and take place in this area.
Yeah, the change is always difficult at the beginning,
yeah.
but it will just become the norm that we represent everyone.
Exactly. So I think in more games, you're going to get more sort of less heteronormative kind of choices.
I mean, people still go nuts about curvier dolls, saying, oh, it's promoting obesity and it's promoting... Honestly, all the time people get annoyed about that. And it's like, are we really still having that discussion that there are so many different kinds of bodies?
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Female fantasies. Gillian Anderson, the actress, wants women to send her their sexual fantasies. The sex education actress is creating a book all about female liberation. And, you know, it's a book based on a book previously by Nancy Friday called My Secret Garden, Women's Sexual Fantasies. I just thought this was curious because we don't hear a lot about fantasies and all that kind of stuff and what makes a fantasy versus an intention. We talked about things like thruples and all that kind of stuff, but actually the realm of fantasies, yeah, the X-File actress, absolutely. The realm of fantasies is, what does a fantasy mean to you?
Oh, I wondered when you were going to turn to me and land it on my lap.
You're a female and we're talking about fantasies. It won't be my fantasy then, says LN. What are your female fantasies, if any of you are willing to share them with us? Raspberry mojito.
Okay,
I'd rather have a cup of tea.
Here's a good question. If a fantasy were to start to manifest itself in your head with the absolute knowledge that you're not going to share that with anyone, would you censor yourself?
Ooh.
Because I think I do.
What do you mean?
Would you say you had a fantasy, would you like start going, oh, you shouldn't think like that?
Oh, now I want to know. What do you think?
No, shush. Do you find, just take a moment to think that you actually censor yourself in that...
Give us an example.
Where there is so much shame attached to sex.
Right. And
we had a really good discussion with you guys before about this, didn't we? It's like, why? Where does that come from? Why do we have that problem? If it's in your own head, or even if it's beyond your own head, and you're sharing it with another consenting person who also likes what's in your head, why for some, for many, for most, is there shame? There's many that don't have shame and they're very open about what their fantasy would be. They don't think there's anything wrong with their fantasies. But where does that shame come from? And why do we censor ourselves?
But are you talking about, so for example, I suppose where it becomes tricky is the nature of those fantasies about, I don't know, say sex with other people, sex with someone else, fantasies about someone else, all that kind of standard stuff of, I have to think of someone else in order to be able to make love.
Look at him, he's trying to find out if that's what my... No. Yes, you are. I know you too well.
Hang on. Don't run roughshod over everything I say thinking you know what I'm saying. It's fucking infuriating sometimes. What I'm saying is, it's the most sort of permitted area to go to places you wouldn't go to in your real life. And so I think you're right. I think people do censor those thoughts and then they become constrained into a fantasy because you can't enact them or don't want to enact them.
The thing I find most shocking and so many women will say this, is that they will pretend that the person that they're having sex with is somebody else, right? And I'm like, I just couldn't do that, because I couldn't with somebody unless I was really into them. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't do that thing where I have sex with, like, for ages. I would have to get divorced.
But I can't.
I couldn't do it.
Just as an experiment, I'm not suggesting
But that
when,
was
but
what I was
sometime in my life, I think I've tried this as an idea. Right, think of someone else. I'm an incredibly visual person. I can't do it.
Can't do what?
I can't visualize someone else, even if I wanted to. It's not like you're there with someone and you go, oh, I'm going to pretend you're saying. It's not like a video game. You don't literally. So I don't understand that idea either.
No, I don't understand that. But so
someone here says they want to be. Someone just said they want to be massaged with oil from head to toe and then fall asleep. Yeah, I like that.
I bet you didn't censor that. So if you
fantasies are free, and there's not a lot that is free in life.
So like, if you start to think of something, you think, oh well, oh, I'd love to, and then you think, oh God, what does that make me? Does anybody do that? Because I think women do that more than men. I think, but I could
do what? Sorry, I missed that.
Well, that they might think of something. I don't know. If you think of something completely
Hardy.
outrageous. No. Stop talking.
No, someone just said Tom Hardy.
No, but that's not what I'm talking to you about. I'm saying, so stop. We've done the imagining somebody else part. So you think of something that would be deemed beyond the norm, for say the norm, because you know, for some people, what the norm is Mark, I can't do this.
Sorry,
carry on.
No,
I
can't.
Go on.
For some people beyond
I can't hold a thread.
It's all right. Sorry. So for some people,
carry on.
No. I was just being silly.
Right. So for one person's norm could be another person's completely like shocking, horrified that you do that. Another person, and vice versa. So if you were to think about outside of the norms, like what might be put in like soft porn or anything, or something. Something might be go in a magazine or a nice, a nice-ish bit sexy book. And if you think outside of that, I think people frighten themselves, because it's like, that's why she's asking for people to be anonymous, because people like to put out what's in their head. Why are they asking to be anonymous? Because there's shame attached to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge shame attached.
So you're saying that's wrong and people shouldn't feel shame?
No, I'm interested in where the shame comes from.
Jill Lister Mark trying to be serious.
Fucking hell.
What? No, come on, it's a fun subject. Look, someone here just said, who was it? Oh, God, I've lost it. Oh no, Lee just said something about on a lot of on dating sites, a lot of women I have spoken to ask about your fantasy when you start chatting.
Oh no. Yeah. Now you see, that's like having pudding way before you've even walked into the restaurant.
Pudding?
That's like having pudding in the car. It's jumping too far ahead.
Pudding in the car.
You don't ask somebody. If anybody had asked me that on the first conversation, I would never speak to them again.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So
because it's reductionist. It's like, you remember last year on Love Island when I was so shocked and you were all saying to me, oh no, that's what dating's like now. When I can't remember who it was, said, what's your favourite position? I was like, when you just had their first conversation. Yeah. And a number of you, I know Zoe, you did as well, said, oh God, that's what people ask all the time on dating apps. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I wonder if fetishes are different to fantasies.
Yeah, but you see, fetish.
God, you suddenly left
this is a very big conversation.
Yeah, no, I know.
Fetish.
I'm spreading it out.
One person's fetish is another person's norm. So where do we put this into? The only judgments really should be our own, as long as you're not putting anyone else in any position they don't want to be in. The judgment should be on ourselves. And I think often we judge ourselves harshly in our own heads.
But for some people, judging yourself harshly is part of the fetish. Isn't it?
Just had a text there from Dina, I'm such a knob.
Oh, sweet. That's very nice. Yeah. I mean, some people's fetish might be that.
What does the word fetish actually mean?
Fetish.
Does it suggest perversion?
Fetish? No, a fetish is kind
Something
of
you really, really like
I
that
think
you
it
get
might. I
really
think it's
into.
something illicit, isn't it? There's something
But it's
kind
all
of.
illicit. I
Well,
mean,
no,
what does
fantasies
illicit
aren't.
mean?
No, a fantasy could be lying on a beach having sex. I mean, that's not
No, but
illicit, is it? That's just
why?
a fantasy.
Why is that not illicit?
Well, because you can do it. It's all
No, but
right.
what does illicit mean? I've suddenly realised.
Sort
I
of
don't
illicit
know.
means slightly dark. I mean, someone just said the 50
Oh,
Shades
does
of
it?
Grey thing,
But
which kind of normalised. But I've never understood the whole fantasy thing around bullwhips and leather gear and strapped up. I never understood that stuff.
Exactly right. So that's just not your thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a fetish or it's perverted or any of that. It's just another person's thing.
Mo Power says, someone once said to me, say something dirty, so I said mud.
Toilet rim. Shower drain.
She's immediately
Right.
taken it too far. Okay. So
We've
that's
we've
Gillian
got to
Anderson.
do-
Can I just say, Christos very, very cleverly says it's the XXX files.
Yeah,
That's what it should be called.
exactly.
I was going to talk about
You're
Bad
very
Beano.
smart,
The
Christopher.
Beano comic, just to say, online has been hit by the British Medical Journal because it glorifies and promotes bad food. Irresponsible, the Beano is being called, as apparently it has games on its website or challenges that means you have to destroy vegetables or else you fart. So the Beano says everything we do is done with a pinch of salt, maybe too much
Can I
salt.
just say,
That could be
Nando's
the
is
problem.
grilled chicken and salad.
They describe Nando's as junk food.
If I want a healthier
This isn't
takeaway, I
a
have a Nando's.
promotional gig.
Yeah, no, I grill. I'd like grilled chicken and salad, please,
All
and
right.
avocado,
So
which is
there
what
you
I
go.
get from Nando's.
So be careful. Be careful if you're reading the Beano or your kids are reading the Beano because they may be chuckling to themselves and ordering something from Deliveroo at the same time. Now,
Right, we've got to do welcome to. Well, no. First of all, we can do welcome song to you in a minute. Who's it,
Samantha.
But because we've said this for a whole week now about
yes,
this
that's
joy
why I've got it here.
workout, we've got
But
to
for
do
some
it.
reason, I can access it. The joy workout.
Okay, you don't know anything about this, remember. So a joy workout, right? So this is a science-backed 8-minute workout. After this, he's so annoying. I'm exhausted.
Sorry, I can't get that up.
Good. I hope you pulled your back out. I tried this. So this is a science-backed 8-minute workout that will genuinely make you happy. To go back to Laura, was it, who said that she did a 5-minute hit just before she joined us. I'm going to be sharing this with my kids, with my... So Mark, jump up.
Right.
So it's an 8.5-minute workout that's been devised by a psychologist in the New York Times. She explained that the workout is made up of 6 science-backed key moves.
Okay.
So we're just going to get Mark to do a few of them. So, first of all,
Yep.
you need to reach your arms up into the air. Reach. And you have to... These movements don't just show that we're feeling joy, but they've also been found to bring about that feeling in the first place. So everybody reach for the skies, reach for the sun, reach. You're reaching for joy. Okay, now sway from side to side. Sway from side to side. Bounce to a beat.
Swaying, arms up.
Shake. Woo-hoo, baby. Woo-hoo. Jump for joy. Yay! Celebrate. Woo-hoo.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel a lot better.
Where's it gone? So it's
got
that,
an
but
advert.
obviously, oh, I know, that's so annoying. So you start by shaking one arm when you do the shake, then you shake the next, then you shake your legs, and then you shake every part of your body.
Shake,
Now,
shake,
you
shake.
know what I thought about when I was reading this? This is a lot of the stuff you see children naturally do when they play.
Yeah.
And you know when a child can run outside and within seconds they're in joy. So I really think there's something in this. So this article was, just look up the joy workout.
It's in stylist.co.uk.
But just have a look for it. Let's all try a bit of it over the weekend, those who are fit and able enough to do it, of course. And let's report back next week and see if it's giving us joy. And I think next week in Coffee Moaning, we should start just with a little bit of swaying, a little bit of jumping, and let's see if it works.
Yesterday
totally out of breath.
Yesterday I did a really fast 5K. I do 3 or 4 Joe Wicks hit training every week. I'm as out of breath from that as I am from doing star jumps or mountain climbers.
So what's happening with that? You're reducing your cortisol, reducing your
Mo
stress.
Power says people here in the ER department are looking at me funny now. Send them all our love.
Mwah.
So it's going to be a slightly different No Name Sunday show. There are going to be elements in it that are a little bit surprising, so that's quite exciting this weekend, the No Name Sunday show. As I say, our review of The Whale is landing tonight, and over the next 2 days, A Home Time will be landing. Lots of you have been asking. It's just been so ludicrously busy trying to squeeze those in, but they are coming, and I promise you, that's the case. But anyway, if you're a member and you haven't seen live, do go over there and see Nadia and Dina chatting away. The next Members Live will be featuring Nanny Di.
And don't forget that the Curly Cooks this Saturday is recorded.
Yeah.
Because me and Dina are a little bit pissed in it. We didn't sing the welcome song now.
Okay. Samantha Stern.
Welcome, Samantha Stern.
Are you Stern?
That's so annoying. You've just done that in my ear. Stop and start again. Not nice for Samantha either.
Sorry, Samantha.
Welcome, Samantha Stern.
Welcome
to our family guest area. Welcome.
Samantha Stern.